All right, nerds. So this is what I like to call the episodic content, aka TV and streaming. So stuff that, you can get over your bunny ears or get on cable or from Netflix and HBO Max and Disney Plus, etc., etc., etc. This comes from a much longer video called The Week in Nerddom that exists over on the main channel. You can go check that out. There's a bunch of other news there, but also don't forget to swim around here while you're on the Nerd News Clips channel and see all of the other content that isn't also on the main channel. But, since we're here, let's talk about TV streaming and such. Let's talk about TV streaming. I'm over the episodic thing. I'll change the graphic eventually. It might stay as episodic for a while, but yeah, as it stands right now, it's just easier to say TV. Everyone else just still calls it TV. I thought I was doing something original and nice and good, and it's just too much of a mouthful. It's TV streaming at best, but TV nonetheless. All right, so follow-ups in the TV section. First up, we have Daredevil has officially announced we will in fact be seeing Jon Bernthal as the Punisher in Daredevil Born Again. This one comes with, it's a little bit of a double-edged sword because it's awesome that Bernthal's coming as Punisher, but still missing in these announcements are Deborah Ann Woll and Eldon Henderson, or Henson rather. I can't remember her character's name, but Froggy, yeah, just missing. They're as it stands right now, they're not going to be in the series, and Disney has nothing to say about that. So potentially, because there has not been an official word one way or the other, potentially the door is still open. These two could come back to their roles in the Disney version of this show. It's not looking great though from all of the sources in the world. They're just not likely to happen. So there you go. Next up on the list, we're talking about the Walking Dead Rick and Michonne series. Still without a title, but we do have a new casting announcement. Leslie Ann Brandt, who was in Lucifer. I don't know exactly who she played in Lucifer because I'm still kind of not really watching, but half watching Lucifer. When I'm at the gym, it's on the TV, and sometimes I watch it. But yeah, the new character to the franchise, the character's name is going to be Pearl Thorne. That doesn't really do much for us because the series hasn't started yet, but that's really interesting to know. Let's move right along. We got one more follow-up, and it is about the series Barry. We talked about it previously. It does pretty well in the nerd community. It's actually a fun watch, though I've only watched, I believe, just the one episode, the very first episode. I'll get through it eventually, and we'll talk about it, and That Just Happened. That Just Happened, by the way, is the complimentary show to this show. I know I've been kind of not great the last couple of weeks about getting it onto the syndicated outlets, but it will find its way back to you, I promise. That is where we talk about the things after they've come out or after they've come to fruition, and we get to interact with them. Then we talk about them on the That Just Happened, and that's, again, sister show. Go check it out, whatever. Barry, however, back to the news. Barry season 4 is officially going to be the final season for Barry. There is a new trailer for the 4th season, and also, just kind of sad day for Barry. Though they did say that it is going to have a proper ending, and it's not going to be a cliffhanger because they knew the ending was coming, so they could plan for it, which is great. If you're going to cancel a show, let the showrunner know so they can make it work. All right, so that's what we got for follow-ups and corrections. Let's talk about trailers. We did just talk about the Barry trailer. We have one other just plain-ass trailer, and that has to do with American Dad Season 18. American Dad is now living on TBS. TBS bought the rights to them a couple of seasons ago. I want to say round about what is properly referred to as season 16 these days. But the reason I keep saying kind of weird things about the season numbers is because technically this is the 20th season, but because of the way that they've rolled them together, once TBS bought the rights to it, they kind of rolled, I believe it was season 1 and season 2 in together, and then season 3 and season 4 in together, which means you're down 2 seasons. So, yeah. I really, that's about as good of an explanation as I could find, because I spent time looking for it, and it's just a freaking trailer that we're talking about. The trailer is more of the same, is more of exactly what you love about American Dad, so sure. I mean, if you don't already know what American Dad is, it's the other great cartoon from Seth MacFarlane, the guy who gave us Family Guy, and American Dad is not on the same level as Family Guy, at least Family Guy at its prime. Family Guy now is not that great, but American Dad, I don't think has really peaked or valleyed. It's just kind of went up and then plateaued and stayed right where it, which is generally not a great thing, but in this case, it's not a bad thing either. So there's that. That's our one trailer. Let's talk about some regular ass news, and we got a little bit of an interesting update on the Sons of Anarchy franchise. According to actor Theo Rossi, who, if you remember, played Juice in the original series, not the Mayans series, but the very original, started it all. He was doing an interview recently, and he said that there is potentially something in the works. So I guess this kind of is rumor, but he's saying that it's, they're just looking for contracts and such, is kind of the allusion he's making. But there very potentially is going to be something. He was not willing to share if it was going to be like a mini series or maybe a movie or a direct to streaming movie or anything of that nature. But there is something that is going to be reuniting that original cast, which is very strange because few of those characters are dead. The lead of the show, Jackson Teller, dead. The character that Theo Rossi plays, Juice, dead. How is that gonna work? But if more comes out about this, we will definitely be talking about it. That's what we got for the regular ass news. Let's talk about our TV streaming suggestion this week is Night Sky. I finally finished it over on Amazon Prime. J.K. Simmons, Sissy Spacek lead this cast, and it is bonkers. It is a lot of fun. It is science fiction in a very different kind of vein for science fiction. It's a lot more character-driven drama, and it's like a near future kind of science fiction, but also not really. Very hard to put into words, but also a hell of a great show to watch. It is only the one season. It will not be coming back for a second season, so it's just a lot of fun to think about what could have been with season 2. Once you get to the end, you'll know what I'm talking about. And yeah, absolutely worth a watch. Go watch Night Sky. Once again, nerds, that was a short section that comes from a longer video on the main channel, Generally Nerdy, YouTube or Rumble. Take your pick. I'm on both. You can go find it there. You can go find all of the other news there as well, including the live episode. We do a live episode roughly once a week, every Friday evening. You can join the conversation live, or you can just leave comments here on this one or any of the other ones you find on the Clips channel. Thank you very much, nerds. We've got other news to discuss in other videos, but while we're getting out of here, don't forget that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.